Hello, I am late and I feel like the biggest jerk in the world because you know where I was, why I was late, what was so important, why I kept you guys waiting was because I fell asleep literally right here in front of the computer, and I am so sorry. Today I was actually supposed to go out aquascaping with Jason, and after yesterday's heat, I literally just felt so terrible and swollen from my autoimmune issues that I crashed. And I took a nap earlier today and thought I'd be fine. And so I didn't have an alarm set or anything because I was awake at 10 minutes till time to go and literally fell asleep with my head on the keyboard. So I am so incredibly sorry. Not funny if you were waiting. So sorry. But I'm here now. And I'm ready to do this. So if y'all are ready for a journey, we can go a journeying. So thank you for those of you who messaged me, seriously, because apparently the post guy left something on the porch, which is awesome, because I've got a new microphone, I've got a new ring light, I've got a new set of reflecting surface things so that when I film videos and things, they won't look as crap. And I've also got a Dr. Pepper handy that's now lukewarm, but that's okay because I've got you guys and you make me happy. And boy, you guys, you're so sweet to have done coffee fun, Kevin. Yeah, you're so sweet to have done super chats. I guess you should just not ever give me money until I'm on the screen. I mean, maybe you shouldn't give me money at all. I probably didn't earn it today. So sorry. Rico and joins as a member to put the icing on the cake. What a guy. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Hey Jess, what's going on? Fake name. Let's see who's in here still. It started with two bettas, of course. How are you doing? Let's see here. I know that. Okay, alarm clock fund. Sally Balls. Okay, yes, I do need that. I do have an alarm clock on my phone usually. Dr. Pepper Fund, thank you. It started with two bettas. Kevin got me a coffee fund earlier. Yeah, that was very sweet. Thank you. And then I saw, boy, man, I feel like a jerk. I saw there was also something from that I might not even have caught yet because it's like not in my stream. I swear, but I saw a picture because I was late. So where did that go? How is everybody doing though, by the way? Okay, well, thank you, you guys. I appreciate it. So, oh yeah, good, Deborah. I'm glad you like the Aquarium guys stream. They're fun. I definitely appreciate talking with them. They're fun to hang out with. It's funny that they do a late night show, and I'm not late night, but I mean it's the words, the verbiage. By the way, people say verbiage, but if you type in that word, it's incorrect usually. Verbiage is actually how you would say the word, and verbiage is like a new modern translation of how people have been saying it, and it's been added to some dictionaries now as also correct. Let's see here. Okay, Andre Ellis. Hey, Danikin, what's going on? Atkins Nature Aquarium, what's going on? Now I'm like not in the slot I'm supposed to be, so I don't even know whose time slot I'm stomping on probably, who's also rolling. So I apologize for that. But today what I thought we would talk about are some of my favorite reference materials that I have. the ones I have handy anyways. And then also I figured we'd go on a journey. And if you have any questions, obviously I'm happy to help try to answer them. But I figured we'd go on a journey and look at some of the stuff that's on Amazon that's a good deal right now because of Prime Day. Like literally, I had been waiting for a month or so to spend any money on buying any gear, and I decided, okay, well, when's there going to be a sale? In my head, I was thinking like Labor Day. I don't know, but then I remembered Amazon Prime Day a few days ago. Started up the other day, and it's still going now. It's kind of Prime Week now, I guess. But there are some things I wouldn't ever order an aquarium. I don't even know if they have any actual aquariums right now. I've seen them on there before, but I wouldn't trust it making it whole right now, honestly, with the way shipping has been. But I do want to show you guys something real quick. Well, we'll take a brief little stroll here. And I do want to show you guys, though, that I got the ring light thing, got new microphone and pop filter and a stand arm thing. Got new micro devices, storage devices, new cables, new reflectors for like a foil reflector. So hopefully I can up some of the quality on the show around here. Now that it's kind of taking on it's growing up. It's becoming its own thing. So yeah, I'm putting the money back into the channel. So I just appreciate the memberships and I appreciate the super chats, and it means a lot. And I'm not embezzling it in Dr. Pepper completely. Anyways, let's see here. Yeah, Rico Stan, you have a good point. Rarely find anything on Prime days except for actual Amazon devices and TVs, neither of which needed in the past couple of years. Yeah, I agree. I mean, for the most part, that's true. The sales that I found were like 20% off. So it's nothing crazy, but I'll take 20% off of normal price as, to me, that's still worth my time. And I, like last year, I think actually this headphone set and microphone piece came from them. And I feel like it sounds okay. It was it was normally $279 and it came down to like $199, which that was okay. So, are you for real? Is it really postponed in Canada due to the virus? But also the deal they had, some of them, they have been having like these, the flash deals that only last a few hours. And that's why I was like, well, we'll look at the stream. We'll look on. Wow. So you guys are serious about that? Is crazy. Sorry, Canada. I guess you guys don't get Prime Day this year. Probably going to be on like Boxing Day for you guys. That would be my guess. Yeah, but in any case, I figured we'll take a look and see what's up on there, and we'll all find out together. And when we get on there, the other thing I guess I should say is that I do have the link in the description. So, and I agree, Xanadudu, that Prime, Alexa are just trackers, scary in a way. Yes, your cell phone, it's ridiculous that we have to. Why is my light on? It's ridiculous we have to pay for the cell phones because the amount of tracking they do, like they should be paying us monthly. Like the data they sell off of like where you are, your geolocation and your habits and how long you were at what store and how often you go to that store, all that stuff is worth so much more than most of the service side stuff that tech companies do. I mean, Google and other companies have been on record multiple times when you watch their kind of like business and tech R&D meetings and it's kind of like people don't remember, but McDonald's is actually a real estate company. That's where they make more money than anything else. And franchise fees in the real estate, like actually owning the land, and the rest was kind of like to kill time while they're buying up the land. Might as well put a burger joint there. It became that way. It didn't start out that way, but due to the way business rolls out, that's if you've seen the movie The Founder, they kind of go into it, or Fast Food Nation. I think the book. I think that's the one that goes into it. But regardless. Here we are. Yes, Amazon has some creepy tendencies to track us, as does Google. But I'm already in the loop. I'm in the ecosystem. So, and y'all probably are too, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of those things. So I will just say thank you, my benevolent artificial intelligence overlords. Please take pity on me, my fish, and my fishy friends. But if you do want to buy something and support the channel, you can always go to any link down in my description that takes you to Amazon. So I put a little link at the top that is a food feeder. It's a little box feeder, and it's clear. It's one of the Lee's, which are the good ones in my opinion. Lee's Specimen container. It's the kind that when you go to like Petco, you can never buy, or PetSmart, but they're clear and they put all their nets in it, and it's what they scoop fish into. And they also use it as like a little bucket to hang stuff on, on your tank. So if you click that, anything you buy after getting to Amazon via that link, doesn't really matter what link, any of the products that I have listed, they're affiliate links. And so even if you went there and looked at that, and then you're already on Amazon's browser because of that, if you type in Ferrari, whatever, if there's a Ferrari car, then I would get a slight commission off that. So if you're going to buy a Ferrari, figure out how to do it on Amazon by using one of my links. Pretty please. I would appreciate that. Because it doesn't cost you anything. And as we said, Amazon makes a lot of money off of selling our info anyhow. Yes, I wish they would be scratch proof too, Steven, 100 million%. If they made a total glass one, I would buy it. Like, I don't know why they don't make a Pyrex type one. I feel like that would be a really good, like, sturdy thing that wouldn't get scratched and probably wouldn't even break on most home floors. I mean, it would on concrete probably, but not on a wooden or carpeted or whatever floor. So, let's see here. Atkins, you're saying you have a CO2 generator, works really good. 5 months, you only had to refill it once. Bigger bags of baking soda, citric acid, it's even cheaper to run. Totally. So that's something I should do an episode on. We did a live stream on it like 5 years ago now, before I even had my setup. 4 years ago, before I had my CO2. There are ways of running CO2 called low-tech CO2 or like middle-tech. And there are some interesting formulations where you can also do things like include agar, however you want to say it, gelatin, and you put the citric acid in that, and then you can use baking soda and other things. And then there's other systems too that people have devised of kind of splitting up the baking soda and citric acid, which then combines to make CO2. Some people use yeast. Some people use, there's anything that makes CO2 naturally, yeast fart it out basically. So, they're really good at it. That's why beer is fizzy and things. But yeah, let's see here. We have a couple questions before we get my little show on the road, which is kind of, let's see here. What did Greg say originally? I must have missed it. I guess it's not showing me what Greg said. Maybe I can pull it up on my phone. See if the stream, because I get the StreamYard updates when you guys talk to me on here, and definitely anything that's at my name, I get that, and then it selects some random. I don't know why it picks what it picks, but it does some random other ones to share with me, and then I'm like, well, I don't know what exactly some random going on. Let's see here. Now I do. Now I've got the power. Now I can see all of you, which makes me so much happier, but it looks so rude when I'm off to the side. See, we're coming up. We're trying to make this channel better, and this will be part of the process. Is me figuring out. The other thing I want to do is a green screen behind me, so that we can have any one of my tanks, and maybe. So I'm also thinking about wiring up the GoPro and or some webcams, so that at any time when we're doing a live stream, I still think it's more interesting. Like it's gonna be hard for me to sit in front of a microphone and not move around like a madman, because that's just what I do. But we'll try it out. And I still want to be able to show you guys what's in my tanks and hop from tank to tank and all that stuff. And because of that, hopefully we can get a green screen going, and or at least just different feeds on the live stream type thing. And then I'll actually StreamYard or whatever it may be. I'll pay for that monthly too, because right now I just use the StreamYard that's free, honestly. All right, let's see here. Oh, and I'm still in top chat, of course, on the other screen too. Oh, nice. So you got the CO2 generators. Oh, that is what you were talking about, the CO2 generator. Nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Steven, the comment. So I saw a stream where Corey actually from Aquarium Co-op mentioned, like, I won't work with Alex because he can't do the bare minimum of getting a microphone or this or that. And honestly, in the past, it wasn't Corey talking about that, because I've bought microphones in the past. I've bought new gear. I mean, I've bought a phone that it was like $500 more than I would have spent just for the camera, you know. It's not that I haven't wanted to reinvest in the stream or whatever. It's more just that I like the way I do things, because it lets me churn out 4 pieces of content an hour long or more a week, you know, like 3 to 5 hours of content a week, when I don't put all the production value into it. And that gives me more time with my animals. It gives me more time to research. But what I do want is the ability to do that stuff when I do have someone on, if that makes sense. So it may not change the day in and out of stuff. I'm not gonna hardwire my house perfectly for this, unless the channel were a lot bigger and supporting things. Corey, for the last few years, he just said it the other day, he's been making $25,000 a month off of YouTube, you know, in profit. So it's a different game. You know, the most I've made in a month from YouTube at all revenue streams combined is around $2,000 a month. And then I breed fish and other things on the side and do graphic design. Just to be transparent with you, most paychecks are about $1,000, including super chats, and memberships come out to about $1,000 to $1,200, because YouTube takes a share, taxes take a share. But I do want to upgrade equipment in the thought that, you know, if I do want to do a video, for instance, up close on fish in my tank, that's an ability I've wanted. So the fact that now I have a GoPro, thanks to it started with 2 betas, that's something cool that I think would be fun to actually be able to put GoPros in my tanks when I notice something's breeding. We'll see how that works out in practice, because I don't see a ton of videos like that online. And I feel like there'd be someone who's really good at that by now if it was an easy or logical thing to do. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Logic and easy are not in orders. They're nowhere in the top 10 of why I will or won't try things. But in any case, yeah, so I did think about that, though, the fact that, you know, how am I investing into this channel with you guys, with when you give me chats and things. I have how do I say this? I do appreciate Corey's feedback. He told me, and in the stream that he talked about my channel recently, he said, you know, he mentioned Lucas Bretz too, that he kind of was quicker to not say too much about Lucas, but Lucas does things the way I do. Him and I, we've talked about it before. We just like doing things the way we do it. We're fish keepers first and foremost, and we're here to learn for ourselves and to raise fish and breed fish and raise plants. And we're here to share that with you guys, but not to disrupt the flow of that natural love and passion for what we do, like as we do it. You know, it's like why I've done some time lapses of me aquascaping, and I may do some in the future, but generally I don't, because it's this zen, like soothing thing I do, and I don't want to have to worry about a camera. If there's a time lapse of the whole thing, that's fine. But you know, the other ones where people stop and say something every 5 minutes, they're just not fun. They're not in the spirit of why I started the hobby. And so if there's something I can teach that I need to show, I feel like usually I can just show it by showing that piece on its own. And the quality of having, for instance, a cinematographer present, yes, that would be handy. But I mean, that's what I also miss is, I mean, that like that Corey has is he's always got someone there to film. Like he's usually one of the subjects, you know, in his clips, which is like handy. That's something that when you're filming yourself, I mean, you can be the subject, but it's like selfie mode. And so, yeah, it'd be cool to have someone to film, someone to edit, someone to do this and that. But I do think right now at the stage I'm at, I'm just trying to get to where I get you guys the information and I keep up with the information. You know, I have some limitations as far as health and things like that too. And that is why this job, so to speak, and I want to treat it like a job. You know, I want to every day make sure I spend 6 hours or more working on content, answering questions that you folks have asked, doing stuff like that. You know, and the basics of if really, like, honestly, what it comes down to is if it bugs Corey, it probably bugs other people. And while I can shrug it off as I have in years past and say, so what, I'm not in 4K broadcasting, you know, all the time or whatnot. And I can just say, well, if they can't see past that, they're the kind of people who would never watch public access or Channel 9 probably. They're not going to, you know, they're not going to sit down and read a book. They need it in a nice presentation or a PowerPoint. And it's just different types of people, you know. That's kind of the take I've had in the past. But I don't want to turn people away either if they look at something and they could be learning, they could be engaged in having fun. And if Corey thinks it, then honestly, that is something that other people probably have thought many times and been turned away from it. Granted, there's probably a million things out of my control that are that way too. But that's kind of what's up with why I want to invest in the channel. That, and, you know, I feel like when you guys give me money, when I get more memberships and things like that, that I want you guys to know where the money's going. And it's either in buying fish or food or medication for the fish, electricity for the fish, and things like that over the years is where it's usually gone towards, which has allowed a small channel like me to then get fish and literally gift them to people, or, you know, sell them at the price I got them for, and then buy new fish. And then, you know, that way in every 3 or 4 months, I have a new fish. Whenever I successfully breed it, I can move on. We can do another species spotlight. And then the fish that I really love, I keep basically long term. But that has allowed me to cycle through so many more species. If you look back in the last 5 years, it's like how I've been able to do the Breeders Awareness Program, or the Grandmaster Horticulturalist certification. You know, I couldn't afford literally to have done 100 species of plants, cultivating and propagating them, if it weren't for the fact that I had this channel. You know, because one, I sell the plants after I grow them, but a lot of those plants are rare, and you never sell them for the price that you got them for. You have to sell 10 times that amount realistically to hobbyists to get what you pay at an auction or something for a rare plant. And yes, you can sell those rare plants at a high markup online, but I prefer to, if I pay $100 for a plant, if it's a stem plant, I'm still going to sell that stem plant for like $3 or $4 a stem at most. If it's a Nubius where it takes like a year or two to grow out bigger, you know, then I can see why you keep the price higher to like, you know, 10 or $20. But as far as hobbyists go, it's also allowed me to share a ton of stem plants and breed a lot of fish that wouldn't be in the area otherwise. So I have to thank you guys for all of that, and mute my phone. But let's get this show on the road. I have a collection over here of my, Randy Roman, you have a good point that, you know, I'm not going to be editing in 4K anytime soon, probably, unless, you know, like, that's the other thing is like, it's funny because I know that Corey hasn't watched the channel very much, at least in recent years. He's probably written me off from when we had a little tiff like 5 years ago, and kind of left it at that and maybe checked in here or there, or whatever. Because he also said that he thought I had ill will towards him, and he'd know if he watched the channel that I've talked about shopping at his store all the time. I think he's a smart guy. I love his older videos. Don't always love the videos that are like, look at my 800-gallon tank. That was cool a couple times. And then now I've noticed he's kind of backed off that, which is cool. Maybe people have kind of said like, it's cool to see that, but we can't relate. Like, none of us can have an 800-gallon tank. And so some of us want to live vicariously through that, and it's cool to watch a little bit. But for a while, it felt like it was getting too much of that, in my opinion. That, and I just, there's just too many people to work in the chat. And luckily, in some ways, my channel's smaller, so we can all chat with each other and we can answer questions. And I can literally read every comment still. And I thought I would have lost that ability when we hit 20,000. So I'm really trying to hold on to the spirit of this channel. And I am easing my way into making more changes, but I don't think you're going to be getting edited videos from me anytime soon other than when I need it. But the 4K thing, there's a video by a guy, a YouTube channel. I'll put it in the community post. His name is Knowing Better, like his channel name. And he's a real intelligent guy. He puts together very good educational videos. But he has a whole video about how you don't even see in 4K. And there's actually something called the soap opera effect. And it's why when you watch soap operas, in America anyways, on TV, oftentimes they look too smooth or just kind of like a different, like they feel odd compared to, the commercials or sitcoms or other things, NFL games, whatever. And it's because they're filmed in a different ratio and a different frames per second. And it's actually a higher frames per second. Go figure that soap operas are filmed in better quality. but they're not compressed down to be then broadcasted across the syndicated network necessarily. They have to go out that day, and so they don't get retooled in the same way. And the weird thing, exactly what Steven just said. The interpolation of the frames. He says, I turn that crap off immediately when I buy a TV. But, you've got another, Alan, who's got an interesting point too there, but the more polished videos become less personal there. I think that's true for some channels, but like Tank Tested, like Alex's videos over on Tank Tested, I love his videos, but I've been there when he's filmed them, like when he came to Seattle or at the Aquatic Gardeners Association. That guy works so hard. He's a classically trained, like through school and everything, and working on the job for Discovery and Nat Geo, I believe it is, and then also reality shows and things. So he's run the gamut of knowing about that, and he brings iPhones, old iPhones that he has, and he gets audio from those with a little mic on each one and a little dead cat, as they call it, but a little fuzzy mic and a shotgun mic. He puts like 2 to 4 different sound devices sometimes. He puts lights up. He really goes all out. He brings like briefcases of equipment to do, like, if you see an interview, for instance, the one at Aquarium Zen, he had 2 or 3 reflective lights and towers of the reflectors, and 3 audio tracks, I think, for that one, and I think 3 cameras for that one too. So in any case, it can look really beautiful, and I think there's a place for it, but I haven't found a passion in that part of the art of, and it is an art, people like Foo the Flower Horns channel, where that's kind of their signature. That's kind of part of the fun of their channel is the artistic nature of what they put into it. And for that matter, Aquarium Co-op, Jimmy, if you look at when Corey was editing videos, or I don't know if maybe he was getting help from someone else, but there's a clear, like when Jimmy started Mark, and then there's another like clear revolution when Jimmy moved and came back. Like when he just decided, boom, I'm going to step it up. I'm going to, and also Corey said, I'm going to spend the money on the gear or whatever. So I do think that people notice and appreciate it to some degree. But, for me, the main thing is that my internet sometimes decides to crunch it all down anyways to 720. And so I think it's just when I can control the sound, that is something I agree. Like the sound should be decent. And when the video, I don't want it to be lagging. So those are the things I want to get to. The other stuff, which Corey probably doesn't know because he doesn't check in, and I make a lot of content, is we've tried filming on the microscope. We've gone out. We've filmed with my DSLRs in HD. I went to Florida and I edited a series of videos in a traditional YouTube style editing. They got worse views than almost any videos I've ever done. I don't know if people saw them and just were like, I don't know whose video this is, or if I just did a bad job because I'm not good at it and I would need to get better and to a point where it would feel weird at this point in the channel. But I just thought I'd talk about that because it's something to talk about. And clearly now, it sounds like a bunch of people saw that. A lot of people watch Corey's channel. I watch a lot of what Corey does. And him and I are in the same town. Like I said, we're, his shop's right up the road. So I would like to be able to get along with Corey, for all intents and purposes. And I wrote him an email, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I guess, saying as much that like, hey, I know there was some bad blood or whatever you want to call it. Cause when I started reaching out to him, he was kind of at his first big peak of working really heavy at the store and transitioning into being YouTube. And I think it was a time when juggling that, he said as much in an interview with Fishman TV, which is a small channel that just popped up. And I saw that he was on like the podcast just today. He said, yeah, he got short with people for a while there, and maybe I just hit him in that window, and give everyone a chance, I guess, is the bottom line. And I need to remember that too. As far as taking advice from people that know a thing or two, because sometimes I had written off when later he mentioned, if you needed to upgrade this, do that, do this, do that. And I was just like, no, I don't. People are watching. And I shouldn't have that. I mean, I've never had the attitude of like, it is what it is. That's that. Tough luck. But now I'm really changing to, well, let's make it a little better. And honestly, this is the first time the channel's had the funds also where it makes sense that now there is enough money. Like I said, if I get $1,000 check a month, that's 12 grand a year. I mean, you got to report taxes on the end of that, but still that's money. And then say I breed and sell that much also from my room. And then my wife's working, like that is enough for us to get by. It'd be better. It'd be great to be doing, it'd be great to be doing double that. And then literally I'd have $1,000 to throw back into it. But that's what I wonder on YouTube channels that are making 20 grand or 100 grand or $1 million a month, like at what point do you say, I've paid myself, I've paid my employees, I've done this or that, and it's good enough, you know what I mean? And I could see where you would definitely, it's probably a hard decision at that. So, all right, let's keep moving. Well, thank you, Greg. I see. Love Corey, but his push for members. Yeah, I mean, is the thing he's doing with the online fish club. I think that's cool for people who don't have a fish club nearby. The funny thing about that is that I try to bring people on the show and dig up interviews and information, in my view, once a week that would be worthy of a smaller fish club, and maybe once a month worthy of a big fish club, a presentation I try to give you guys, on something, whether it be the history of something or something behind something. And so I like the concept of what he's doing, but it's kind of the concept a lot of channels have taken with their content when they don't just do top 10 videos. And that's fine to do top 10 videos. It's what makes money. Top 10 fish for a 10 gallon, top 10 nano fish that are red. I mean, whatever. I have those videos too, but I know you guys come here because you want, generally, probably not me to be talking about everything I just am blabbing about today, but want to be looking a little bit deeper into the things that you can get a surface glance of. I don't want you guys to come here for something you could find the whole answer to in the video title, like get a real balanced answer to by Googling it and spending 10 minutes. I want to compress 20 hours of a topic, looking at it from different angles, and let you know, trying to be unbiased, but of course I'll tell you when I know there's a bias, but try to give you a bunch of different points of view and kind of turn that into a conglomerate of one thing. Yeah, Aquaman, it's true. It's all about net profit. There are $1 million businesses that net 10K. In fact, a lot of businesses try to net nothing. I mean, in a capitalist society with taxes that are high, why would you not do the pay yourself high, pay anybody you can that you want to keep high, and then spend every penny you have right up to like $1 and reinvest it into your company? That's why we have high taxes, so that you will pay that. I mean, that's why we have write-offs, so that you will grow your business, so that the company, because capitalism needs to keep eating. We need to keep growing. If you stop growing, it doesn't work. And that's why we allow write-offs. That's the whole point, is we want people to put the money back into the business. I'm not saying that's necessarily a problem, but it can become a vicious cycle. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people want their accountant to make everything like just above profitable. Or if you have a board of, directors, you want to make maximum profit, because that's your legal obligation. And then you've got your other folks within the company trying to balance things. So, let's see here. I'm just looking. I'm 65 inches. Wow. Wow. I feel bad when when the bandwidth throttles and I'm like all scratched up in 65 inches. Boy. All right, let's see here. So let's actually get to the useful information for you guys now that I've gone on that side tangent and you kind of get a vibe of, that I'm trying to grow the channel in a responsible way. I wouldn't want it to grow too fast, if that makes any sense. I don't want an event where 10,000 subscribers came pouring in. I don't think that'd be good. So let's talk about books. As Steven says, let's talk about books, baby. Let's scoot along the floor with me. Because I've got them all laid out in an arrangement that I thought would look cute, but it doesn't because there's no good shot of getting that floor arrangement for you guys. But what I can do is pick them up. All right. So, I like that everybody is now singing along. Glad. All right, so I'm gonna go in order of a couple books, and if you guys find these books on Amazon anytime, not just now during Prime Week, or on Audible for that matter. Like, this is one that I don't think would be on Audible. Toy Fish by Albert Klee. This is one of my favorite books. If my channel had to pick a book that was most similar to it, it would be this one. This book is killer. You don't need to buy it in this big size. I did thinking that it had extra annotations or something like these, but they're in the small size book and they're plenty big. They literally just made the font and everything ginormous. It's like 20-point font. So you can get it in normal, like 5x7 or whatever the paperback normal size is, rather than this 11x9 size. But this book is, and it goes over the up into the 20s and 30s. It goes over with pictures of the people, which is really cool that were involved. It goes over the history of aquarium hobby and industry. And it also goes into, yes, and Dr. Klee posts his work occasionally on Facebook too. Yeah, Alishon, definitely. Yeah, good point. And so, I mean, it's just got some classic images you've probably seen too. And he's one of the people who dug up a lot of this stuff that had been kind of lost. So this book has gone through a couple iterations, and you can get the most recent one, I think, is actually only, what year is it? Yeah. So, wow. Dr. Albert Klee, born 1929, so he's getting older. But the hobby, was the printing. So it hasn't been in print for a while. So this is one that you'll see secondhand on Amazon sometimes. And I really hope this gets reprinted. So this is, I picked up this and it was pricey. So this, which I've definitely had informed several videos and I've always mentioned when I've drawn from this book, because I don't want to take anybody's research. Like the episode on angelfish, that I did, and the episode talking about the history of shipping of fish, which was a 2-hour live stream extravaganza, basically, because I uncovered so much on that topic. I think sometimes people assume that I probably should have boxed that as not a live stream, but I wanted to literally give a 2-hour lecture live. This book has pretty much the entire U.S. history and European history of filtration, aeration, and shipping fish. And it's got things like the prices of fish in old mail order magazines and things like that. Yeah. So, Alan, I think that's a good point too. I'm just reading a few comments as they come in too. I like that you're able to switch rooms, pop outside to a tub or go to a tank. Seeing is believing. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's the other thing is that I should have mentioned in my little rant before about video and all that. That's good. I want to be able to show you the fish that I'm keeping, though, so that's one thing is like I want to show you that. But what good are the things I'm saying if I say this kind of light will help your plants bloom and this kind of light will help them in a vegetative state and this does that? What's the point if I can't show you that I've done it 5 times over and replicated it a bunch of times? I wouldn't believe some guy like me on the internet unless I saw that he'd done it or he was singing all the right notes with every other thing. So that is something nice that I like about the live streams that I do. And I'm not going to stop doing that piece of it. But when we do have an episode when I want to sit down and, for instance, show you guys something on the computer, I don't want to film the computer screen. That is embarrassing. There are utilities other than my finger being filmed that allow me to highlight things. And I'll just have to get used to it because that's what adults do nowadays, I guess. I mean, not highlight digitally. So yeah. All right. So this is another great book. This one you probably can find on Amazon. So this one is a flippy floppy book. Let me get stable here. Hold on. I'm not mentally stable or wait, it's like what movie is this? Huh! This is the end. Okay. I don't want to get claimed for copyright, I realize, but Ceiling Fan, we'll just watch that for a while. And you guys can watch me punch a mirror in a minute. Okay. So right here, a lot of glare on this cover, but it's the 2015-16. It's made, like, don't let that fool you. It's made by Dennerle. So it's definitely plants that are in their catalog. You know what I mean? Available for purchase. Well, as of 5 years ago now. But this is a great resource for, let me try to show it to you without getting copyright struck for showing published work. This is, for anybody watching, this is commentary, okay, guys? And I'm promoting their book. But basically, they give you the genus, species, family, where it's native to, the area that it will grow to, the light that it needs, the temperature, water that it needs, how fast it grows, slow, fast, whatever. The pH, the hardness of the water you should have, whether it does well in CO2 and what CO2 does to it, and the propagation notes for how to take care of it. And this one is just basically a pretty comprehensive, what that is not showing anything to you guys. Sorry. It's a pretty comprehensive, just like spread of plants by species, kind of split up by types, mosses and hydrocotyls. And this one, I believe this one was 30, like $29.99. I want to say this one happens to be autographed by Stefan Hummel and Chris Lukhaup. So I actually paid more to get this one ordered. And then it was funny, Aquarium Co-op of all places had him in the shop for $29.99, and he had just had Chris Lukhaup in the Shrimp King. If you're into shrimp, he goes by that moniker. And he's a German guy. Used to be in a heavy metal band, which is funny because I actually had heard of his heavy metal band when I used to be into European heavy metal music. It wasn't a huge band or anything, but when I met him, and I do talk to him from time to time on the phone. I can't think of the Instagram is how he talks to people, but he's traveled the world and his Instagram is really great. It's Chris Lukhaup. If you want to see new species of plants, fish, whatnot, he's almost always in Borneo or Florida. It seems like one of the other exploring fish species and stuff like that. But that book is called Guide to Aquarium Plants, and it's the Dennerle guide, and there's probably a newer one out by now. I would guess, because this is 2015-16, and they had one in 2010, 2011, so it might be an every 5-year kind of thing. Name a fish after me, Alex. That could be a thing for your channel. I will gladly, you know what? I will not. Chris recently left Dennerle. Well, that's interesting news. Interesting. I wonder what's up with that. I mean, maybe he's able to do the things he wants to do on his own. Any insight into that, Allison? Why he left? So basically, yeah, that book is just a good summary book for checking out aquascape plants, essentially. Plants in general in the hobby. They're the same plants you're going to find Aquarium Co-op, FAN, which is Florida Aquatic Nurseries. That's where almost all stores in the U.S. that are aquarium stores, whether it's Petco, PetSmart, if it has a little plastic basket and it has a little plastic insert with yellow border, well, white plastic or on the outside, a little yellow border and the name of the plant, that's from Florida Aquatic Nurseries. And they make last time I looked, which was a couple years ago, it was like 80% of the aquatic plants sold in the U.S. That they know about. I mean, they probably don't know about how many are sold in the home and hobby market, but that are retail commercially sold. So the real book that you guys should hunt for, if you can find it, and old editions also very good. I would say that she has topped herself, and there is no book out there for aquatic plants that even comes close to the quality and info in this book. This is like, I mean, I don't know. It's so just to give you an idea, there is a book that still gets made named after a guy who's very contentious. I've been saying this for years that I'm going to do an actual episode on Axelrod and his empire of tropical fish hobbyists and magazines and various aquarium companies. But this is a giant book that comes out, and it is the Bible of aquarium fish. Now, this one I got, and it's a 1994 version, I think. But literally, these are just types of guppies. And there's, I don't know how many, 8 types on each page. And there are 1,200 pages in this book. And it's predominantly photos. So there isn't a ton of information in here about the fish. But as far as what's in here, wait, where we go? Stop. What's in here? Super useful for looking at, like the types of killifish. And okay, this is not the best medium to show books. I'd be better off on my cell phone than on this laptop. Yet I thought, let's start things off on the laptop. But it also, this book, this Axelrod book, which it'll probably have a lot of these old pictures. It also has cold water species and species that aren't in the hobby so much, because it's all freshwater fish. So I have the Atlas of Freshwater Aquarium Fishes is what it's called. I can link these books in the description if they're in print. Not all of these are in print. I'm just saying, like, the other thing I guess I'm saying is, if you find these books in the spirit of Prime Day capitalism and shopping, if you find these books, get them. Local fish auctions and things like that are definitely a gold mine for that kind of stuff. And after the shutdown and lockdown, I guarantee you all the clubs will have an auction soon, and you should try to get these books. When they're out of print, just to give you an idea, even though this book was printed as recent as 2003, and it's printed on crappy stock, whoever printed this, it gets the point across, and it's fine for the content. So I'm not criticizing it in that way, but it has a very like home publishing feel to it, which I've published several books of my artwork and also 2 adult coloring books. So I know what goes into publishing a book and deciding whether there's the crease on the spine and what gel to use and what type of binding to use, perfect binding, or also just the fact that this book, the big size one, is slightly, it's been vectorized because it was pixelating. And so it's got this weird kind of like blotchy effect to some of the pictures. But in any case, yeah, it's got interesting stuff. So back to this book, I paid $190 for this book. So some of these aren't cheap. Whereas the Dennerle, like I said, I think you could probably pick $20 to $30, pick one of these up, and it's got a good amount of info in it. Now, a lot of these books, you can find the info online. You can find the info other places, but I like physically holding a book. Yeah, I just do. And I also like promoting, because it takes years of work to put together 7,500 photos of different fish. I mean, that is a crazy lifetime of work. So this is one that they have newer editions of, but I couldn't afford. I got it for $20 at a book club sale, or at a fish club sale at the end of the night when no one was paying attention to the and wanted to go home. And it's really a picture book. It's almost a coffee table book of just every fish you've never heard of. There's 32,000 known species of fish, and this book features 10,000 of them in it total, which is pretty cool. I don't know what the newer editions feature, but that year is bigger than some of the later years, so I don't know if they edited things down or what, but it's changed. So back to the other book, though, about plants. Christel Kasselmann's book about plants. It's just called Aquarium Plants. And this is the first place prize for our aquascaping contest also. This came out last year in English. It came out in German 2.5, almost 3 years ago first. But it is incredible pictures. Like, look at this Aponegeton, or Apongeton, as she would say. And I mean, it's got the flowers, the immersed state, and the wet state or submerged state of many, many plants by species. And then just years of valuable information from people who've kept plants. Stuff that, I mean, just little notes like this plant would do well tucked behind a nice centerpiece stone or thick bush of Bacopa or Hygrophila. Does well in the shadows or in off direct sunlight. Pairs well with Diplis deandra and Micranthemum ambrosium. I mean, it's just like little tidbits like that. Ludwigia hybrids can cause this plant to melt at times in high CO2 environments. Red color is intensified by lack of nitrates rather than lack of iron. Similar other species, Alternanthera renickii, a monogracilis, and a Senegalesius. So just little tidbits like that all throughout this massive book that's 320 pages. And then just helpful things are tucked in there, like the anatomy of a flower or the anatomy of a leaf, or how transpiration or you know, what iron does, what phosphate does, what different soils do for each of these plants. All that's just kind of just folded into the description. So it's a book that I've literally read front to back. And we can take a look here. Let me pull up real quick and see how much this book is running for on her website. Let's see if it's on Amazon first. It's and it's spelled Christel, Christel, German way of spelling it, and then Kassel, Kasselmann. So when I do the search, yeah. So let me pull this screen up. I'll pull the screen up for you guys. Sorry about that. Share screen. Chrome tab. There we go. All right. Wait. Okay. Can you guys see this? Can you see this? Have you heard this? Did that show up for a sec? Yes, it did. Okay. So, this here is the version, the 2002 version. There's the 2005 version and a 2009 German version that DATS put out with her working on it. I don't know if it's the same. DATS is a German magazine, and that's also who helps with the L numbers and all the other numbering systems for like plecos and cories and stuff. But just so you get a feel for it, the oldest versions are still $35, and this is nowhere near as comprehensive as the newest version. So you actually want to go to, let me Google this first because I don't remember how it comes up, but Christel, Kasselmann, Aquarium Plants 2020 will probably work. Let's see here. You go to her website in German, which, let's see here. Yeah. All right. So then you can order her book for 69.95 euros, and shipping costs of 8 euros. So it's 70 euros. Let's see what the euro's doing right now. Euro to dollar. Oh, nice. So let's do 60. Let's just figure it out. Let's go to 76 euros. 90 US dollars is how much that's going to cost you right now. If you I'm back. I deleted myself from my own stream. But yeah, so it's an expensive book, but a crazy good book. And it's only in print at her website, honestly. If we go back, I actually did a review of this book as its own posting. And I think it's still on here. Let's see here. Because I reached out to her being someone that I look up to an extremely large degree. She spent so much time and energy learning about plants. Why am I not? I don't have my normal translate tab ready for some reason. But she's a sweet lady. She came to the AGA here in Seattle a few years back, and that was awesome. I got to buy some plants from her in 2019, and it was really rad. So besides her being a nice person and everything, I just appreciate all the other work she's done in the field. And I guess it doesn't hurt that she hit me up and was like, "Hey, Alex, wait, let's swap this out. Come on." All right, there we go. So she put my video review of her book on the website. So I should say that. And she donated the book for the contest to Alan, who she knew was affiliated with me in the contest. Sorry, guys, getting a little asthma. But yeah, so it's a great book. By far, it's worth 20. I mean, if you bought those two books alone, you'd be set in a lot of ways. There are other publications. There's like this Barron's publication from Canada. There's also another version from DK, which does visual whatever books about like dinosaurs and trucks, and like they make kids books, you know. But they did this kind of nice book, which is kind of just, it's like a primer on plants. And it's got everything from how CO2 works and how to set up basic CO2, high tech, low tech. It's got your what's causing my plant to be messed up, little diagrams, how to plant wet versus dry scapes, you know, nitrogen cycles, how light works through water columns, all sorts of stuff like that. So, and then it's got some species, but this is just called the Mini Encyclopedia of Aquarium Plants. It's kind of a handy book. I think this one, this one's only $14.99. Not the best book. After reading that one, it's like, after reading Christel Kasselmann's, it's like nothing compares to it. So I really have to say, like, go to the source. I'm sure it'll be on Amazon eventually, but it may be a number of years before it makes there. So you have to go to her actual website, which is christel-kasselmann.de. And then this, speaking of like real books, or if you have Audible, or if you have some of the subscribing services like Audible, or a Kindle or something like that, you want to download a book, this is a really good book that's actually like, it reads like a novel. There's another book similar to this. Let me just take a look real quick. Called Eels, something about eels. What's it called? Eels book. The Book of Eels, which is another one that you guys could check out. This one's more contemporary. Just came out in 2020 May. But it's about the long quest for eels and learning about eels and where do they spawn, and this thing that since the Romans and Greeks, they haven't found sexual organs on eels. And all the way up until the 1800s, they were paying bounties to find they were paying bounties to find out if they could find an eel with male or female reproductive parts. And they found one. So where did the eels, where do they come from? How do they reproduce? So then they figured, okay, well, the American eel, unlike the English eels or European eels, whichever one you want to call them, of course, we'll be able to see how they reproduce, and we'll figure that out. Well, let's pop back over. So can you guys see this? I think you guys can see this screen right now. But the Book of Eels, let me just pull this up on Amazon too real quick. And to get to it, if you want to give me the credit for for the purchase, you can get it on Kindle, $11.99, audiobook $6.95, hardcover $17.89, and then basically so now back to me. Did you guys see that? Oh, you can't see. Okay, let me try to share that screen again then. Why is it not? I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. Let's put the Let's do both screens so you guys can see both. Why is this not laid out like this? Hold on. J-Rock, what's up? Has anyone ever had a Freshwater Fishes of North America? Yes. It is a great book. There is a book of that name that is great. And it is... Why is... Come on. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. All right, there. Yeah. Now look at that. How about that? Let's see if it'll let us do split. No? There. All right, we'll do that for now. So, Book of Eels. Book of Eli. Book of Eels by Patrick Svensson. But if you want to get this book and give me, what would it be, 14 cents credit, go through my description and click on that Lee's container. I can go back after the live stream and link some of these books. But all you would do is go to the description area, click on the Lee's filter thing, and basically you can... go anywhere on Amazon and it will still give me the credit. Yeah, I will post the list of books somewhere. Yeah, I will definitely do that. You know, even if not now, I might make a video later for you guys, because I said we were going to check on Amazon deals. So I could go through my entire book collection now, but I won't. I'm just going to show you the highlights right now. So another one that I really like, and I would never show you my entire book collection because that would take forever. I'm a real book guy. It's where a lot of the funds have gone when you guys give me money, honestly. Go into reading hardbound books and going to the library, because you just won't find stuff online that people who write books do. I mean, a lot of people just write books, and they're a different crowd than the people who have podcasts and stuff most of the time. So I want to bridge the gap. And I know a lot of people love reading books, but the people who write books very frequently have to team up with a ghostwriter or something like that to appear on media. The people who make multimedia oftentimes have to deal with other issues to learn how to write a book. It's a hard process to publish a book, and it's tedious, and picking out the paper and the thickness, and do we spend the extra $1 to do, to have the thread inseam in the bindings, and what paper stock do we use? Do we use thicker paper? Do we want a texture on the paper? Do we want gloss? Do we want matte? All these questions, plus editing and marketing, all that stuff. So books are a very different beast, and they bring out a different kind of person. And there are plenty of people that have scholarly educations backgrounds that write books that have been publishing scholarly journals, because there's a lot of people who are willing to say, okay, that's fact, let's publish it. But to find these books that are weird dives, like The Dragon Behind the Glass, which is about arowana and illegal fish and animal smuggling, like the underground world of it. True story. And it won a literary Pan America award. Emily Voight is the writer of this. Goes into some really cool, interesting stuff. You can probably find this book on Amazon also. And I mean, I know you can. We just saw that The Dragon Behind the Glass is there, and the you can find the audio version and the this is a tablet that doesn't exist. That's in my head. Kindle version. Now, Your Inner Fish. This is a shorter read, but it is about evolutionary biology and all the ways we are similar to fish. It's a pretty cool one too. Thank you, Chevy. You rock. by the way. And so I like that book a lot. And I have two more books that I want to share with you. One is Sunken Gardens by Karen Randall. She's also a nice gal, a nice woman who will respond if you ask nicely and don't pester her, probably. But she has a book, and she did a live aquascaping at the last ADA, AGA is the Aquatic Gardeners Association. And AGA is always every 2 years, but this last year it got messed up. So I don't know what's going to happen, if they're just going to skip it and do 3 years between the next one. But she had just come out with this book at the last one, and it's got helpful stuff. The truth must come out. So I've pinned it to the screen. But you'll notice that we don't have, and actually I don't have it handy, but George Farmer's book is another one that I'd say check out, his new book. Because it's a really reasonable price, which is nice. And this book is really reasonable too. It's a big publisher that took it on and laid it out and did all that. So that helps the price a lot. Sorry guys. But it's by Timber Press, and this one is $25 in the US new. So not nearly as expensive. And same with like Dragon Behind the Glass. It's the pictures and the glossy prettiness that costs so much money in a lot of these things. But this one's only $14.99 also when it was brand new. You could probably get a used bookstore for like $3 if you look for it at like half price books. It's probably so specialized that it wouldn't be a big deal. Like you probably, I don't know, it'd probably be cheap. Same with The Inner Fish, Journey into the 3.5 billion year history of the human body. This is for any doctors, nurses, or biologists, zoologists. You like that book. Real dry, but kind of more fun than like an anatomy book, but it's still pretty dry. Last book I was going to share is this Scaping book, also by Dennerle, Aquascaping Guide, 2000. Does it have a year on here? But Jan Simon Nispel, Oliver Knott, and Annika Ranke are the main editors of this version. And it's all about aquascaping, as the title would have you believe. Hints and tips. I mean, a lot of this you can get from YouTube channels, but it's nice to have a little reference guide. The Japanese names of stones and, like Sirius stone, gray stone, makes great small mountains, diorama scenes, contains traces of lime, can harden water. And then it'll have a picture of a real big piece of stone that it could mimic. And then it's just got lots of layout ideas. There's also endless books of ADA and other. Heiko Blair has his biotope layout books, and those are fine too. I mean, I think they're pretty good quality and things, and they're just the cool books that I think you guys should check out. But yeah, the new book by Chevy Fish, good point. You can check out a lot of these books at your local library. So if you can't afford a $150 second edition, or to get a hold of some of these crazy books, and I have some other books that aren't that great that I've spent money on a whim, thinking like, oh, this is hard to find, and I have seen that name on a lot of reference papers, and they're just garbage. So definitely, if you don't have someone vouching for you or whatnot, I would, vouching for the book, you may want to find out before you spend too much money. I say if it's under $40, take the gamble. But when buying books, it can be an adventure sometimes, especially like at auction, online auction and stuff. All right, let's get on Google, or Google let's hop on Amazon. Let me get this on the screen. I think I can. We need to switch this around. No. Yes, that's what we want. Okay. Why did that just happen? Bad. There we go. Okay. So, can you guys still see me? I'm going to just like hang out for like 10 seconds to make sure you guys can see me. And okay. All right. You can. I'm sure you can. I'm not going to pull a Jeffrey Toobin, everybody. So don't worry. I know I'm still on TV. All right. So, but before I share my screen, I suppose I should not share my screen. And I should log in to the Amazon Prime. Probably should do that. All right, I'm doing that. You're probably going to see my face looking beguiled. Looks like we got 5 hours left of the shop until you drop Prime Day deals. But a little birdie told me in the chat that Haiger lights were on sale, as well as what was the other one that was said? I should have pinned the comment. Oh, was I frozen that whole time? Maybe I was frozen that whole time. We'll see. Let me get logged on here though, onto Amazon. That's what I need. That's the account, and then all right. Let's get this back up. All right, boom. We are back in business. Okay, so now that we've got that going on, like I was saying, if you want to buy, Night Crew lights and Haiger lights. Thank you so much. Who was it who spotted that? J-Rock does stuff. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, and those are decent lights. Let's see. I'm just curious. I want to check the Fluval 3.0 Planted Plus. I'm sure it's not on sale, but there are some knockoffs that are a little bit less. I don't know that brand though. Like, I don't know if it's a good brand, that is to say. But no, doesn't look like I see any of that on sale any cheaper than normal. But it was worth a try, right, guys? I don't like Fluval's low-end lights, but I love their 3.0. Their 3.0, either Marine or Planted Plus. I mean, get Planted Plus if you got a freshwater tank, obviously. And for that matter, their pennant light. They're both great. I think they're already linked in my description. Actually, I really think they're the best bang for your buck. Because you start paying a lot more for like design and it being slimline and things like that when you get into like Twin Star and ADA and Kessel and some of the other brands that are out there. But if we go to Haiger, Aquarium light, boom. What's on sale for Prime Day deal? Yeah, so looks like we're getting, instead of $65, $52.13. And this light here, I have this light. This is an okay light. It's not amazing. It's middle light, but it's got a timer switch built in, and it is a decent light. I mean, it is. Night Crew, I like even less than Haiger, but again, it will light your fish and it will grow low light plants. Will it do much more than that? Definitely not the $22 one, in my opinion. But it will keep your fish alive and will keep, Java Fern, Anubias, Val, jungle val, probably most crypts, will keep them alive. But yeah, I mean, now you've got sunset mode on these. And then there's the older style light. But really what I would do is I would take a look and, do you want to pay $20 extra for the difference in this versus this? If the lumens are the same, let's see how many watts are in this one. I want to say the lumens and all that were the same when I looked into this. Okay, so this is just a smaller size. Okay, that's all. And so it has an older chipset. Got it. Regina Phalanges, thank you. I just see a super chat. Alex, you're awesome. Thank you for all you do. Like your style. IQs can be overrated, but sense that yours is over the. Oh, here I am being a dummy and looking at her message, thinking, what are IQs? Instagram queries? No, dummy. It's IQs. Okay, got it. Let's see here. Mr. Gromby says the new Higer is stronger with sunset mode. You already looked into it. Okay, so it is stronger. Thank you. That is good to know. There are some that must be comparable because I literally I'd walk into the other room right now, but I bought, which one is it? Let me go back. I bought this newer one here, the 24/7 one. And it's on my my tank that has no filtration, so it puts out enough light for sure that my non-filtered Danio tank does just fine. I don't love the color modes it has. You can't finely control that much, but you can control it. You can add the blue, the green, the red, the white, and the intensity, but different price for different sizes or different prices. That's the biggest size is $52, which is for your 48 inches of light. That's a lot of lights for right now on sale. I'm actually going to buy this because I need a light for the top shelf, and this will grow easily medium light plants. I don't know if I'd count my blessings on highlight plants. It could grow some. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, Mr. Gromby, I agree that it is the remote is a much better layout than the old system of a dumb little digital clock thing. That would also, it's semi-waterproof, but like it would inevitably get wet and then start acting crazy after about a year. The 48 inch is normally $72, J-Rock says. So it's only $52 right now. So it's a great deal. And like I said, that's for some people that's like, well, it's an expensive light, but for like a plant enthusiast, a plant nerd, a plant nut like me, I've spent $500 on a light before to really blast it when I had that Odyssey rack of lights, and it was equal to 4 Flu Ball 3.0s all at once, and it literally burned some of my plants. So do beware of some of those things. Now, let's see here. Did Alan's comment pop up? Of course I can't pin it because if it doesn't show up on StreamYard, because StreamYard hates me. But I would have pinned Alan's comment, which is a thing I discovered about LEDs. If you might pay a certain amount for the lights, or you may pay a certain amount for the lights, but if you want fine control of the spectrum, app integration, you basically double the price every time. That's totally true. And that's a good call. Mr. Gromby was saying, I bought 3 of those lights, 2 for my 10 gallons and 1 for my 55 gallon to have a double Higer light system on there. Yeah, I think with 2 of them, you could grow highlights plants. Probably no problem, really. Just got a Fluval 3.0 for my Nano 7 gallon. So tiny, but it puts out way more light than the long strip light you had before that came with the kit. Yeah, kit lights are almost always crap. almost always crap kit lights. But I will second that opinion, that, you know, that the best bang for your buck might be the Hygger lights for like a value light. And I know that's not you might be like, Alex, it's not a value, like, you know, but right now it is. What was the smaller size again? Let's take one more look. Sorry, I know we've looked at this twice already. So that's for the like big old like 4-foot light is only $50. But if you want the 18-inch light, so that's the bar itself is 18 inches, and then it has an extender that can go out to 24. Is it? Yeah, 24 inches. This thing is on sale for $28.85. That I mean, come on, it doesn't get much cheaper than that to have an actual timer and everything, and a dimmer cool down thing. And what else will it tell us here? It's got the light spectrum here, which is a good one. It's not going to flower your Anubias for you, that's for sure. But it is a good wavelength for growing plants in a vegetative state. Again, you can do some kind of color selection. You can change the brightness to 10, 25, 50, 75, or 100. And yeah, I mean, I've gone over these lights in live streams before and compared all the ones I use in my room. And, you know, there's pros and cons to a lot of this. A lot of people just want a light with a rocker switch. They don't need it to do a million things. Some people don't need a highlight. They just want it on their cichlid tank, you know? So it just depends on what you need the light for. But if you're for growing plants, this is the cheapest light I would buy, honestly. That's like worth the money. That's my opinion. And I wish I had done that. I wish I'd bought more. Of these to start with than dumb other lights. Night crews are fine too, but these are better for the control reasons, in my opinion. Sorry about that, guys. Asthma. All right. Back on the search for deals. Anybody has a great idea of what to look up because they've already bought it and you want to share it with us, feel free to share it in the comments and I'll run over to it. But let's look up TDS meters. Also, somebody asked what test kit I use. I do API always. The other trick is litmus test paper. It's not a fine test, like finely tuned test, but it tells me what I need to know, which is usually not necessarily if it's acidic or basic to a degree, like if it's a 6 or a 5. Like I have a pretty good idea that I didn't get it down to a 3 or a 5 unless I was working real, you know, anything lower than a 6 really, unless I was working pretty hard at cramming leaves into my tank. But if I'm on neutral and I'm like, oh, I don't want to know if my live bearers are in hard water or soft water, I'll get the TDS pen. This is the exact pen I always buy pretty much. I mean, some knockoff of it. It's just, this crap's all made in China for like $1. And then some company comes in, I mean, whatever, whether it's Dustin's Plants or Aquarium Co-op or whatever. I'm not saying they're bad. Like literally this is what I buy. But any company can come in and slap a name on it, but it's all the same chipset. Like, look, the buttons are in the same order. There's the same screen here. They all have different names, different colors, different prices slightly, but they all pretty much do the same thing in a lot of these little gadgets that come out of China. Oh, this one comes with a leather pouch that suspiciously looks identical to this brand's leather pouch that it'll come with, I guarantee. But, you know, the thing that is nice sometimes that like Aquarium Co-op does is they'll make an adjustment. You know, if they buy enough of something, they can add green dye instead of yellow dye to the mold. The mold's already made, and so they can get that changed. And then maybe for a little bit more money, they could put, I don't know, a lanyard to hang this from your aquarium or something. So there are little changes like that that go on. But as a general rule, when you're in the cheap end of instruments and lighting, even with the lights that we were looking at, the diodes on the lights, there are only like maybe 5 light diodes that are really made in mass for the aquarium. And they pack them in at different densities, and they program them to different heats and intensities and things like that. But there's only so many factories that make diodes, and they're ginormous. They're like 50 Costco's put together in Shenzhen, China, or in Wuhan, China. And then there's what, 20 million people or something working in those factories in those cities. And then that's where everyone goes, or they go to Hong Kong, and then they deal with brokers in Hong Kong or Singapore or Beijing, and then they bring the sample back to the factory, and then they make widgets. But usually if a widget is a cheap kind of generic, as I say, like it doesn't have a big name brand, and even some big name brands are just still crap, and you shouldn't pay more than $12 for them. If someone's trying to sell you this TDS meter and it looks suspiciously similar to the layout, and it has all the same functionality of the layout of the $12 or $15 pen, you can pretty much guess that they just put their brand over it and put it in a different box. And that's true with so many things. I mean, sponge filters, filter floss, so many. I mean, not the aquarium hobby. It's nothing new. It's the way business works. It just feels a little icky sometimes not knowing. Like, did I just pay double for something that I didn't need to? Let's see if any of the API test kit stuff's on sale right now, because they've cycled through what's on sale. So save 15% right now. Oh, that's with coupons. Okay, never mind. I've always thought these test strips were overpriced, so I like Aquarium Co-ops. I don't know how good they are. I haven't really dialed them in with a digital display, but I'm assuming they're as good as APIs, definitely as good as, any of this kind of junk. But they've charged too much for test strips for so freaking long. It's ridiculous. This paper costs nothing. Test strips cost like $1 to make, like 100 of them. I don't know what it costs exactly, but it's cheap. It's litmus paper. You used to be able to buy rolls of the stuff. And then they try to sell you each thing. Like API will have a pH test kit alone, little strips, that you can buy, and they're $12 for 20 of them. And literally for $20, you could have gotten 500 litmus test papers. I mean, if you cut all the paper up in like an old pharmacy kit. But I would always buy, I don't like strips, honestly. They give you a quick idea, but I'm with you, Mr. Gromby. I always buy liquid if I need to know. Interesting. Tori says Aquarium Co-op test strips gave me totally different numbers than both my API liquid kit and my Tetra test strips. I don't like. Yes, Monica, they price them ridiculously because they know we all rely on them. Sadly, it's true. I wish someone could just make a decent one. I hope Corey has. I don't know. But they're notoriously the paper test strips are relying on an embedded chemical that can be changed by UV light, whether you open it and the humidity's off, how long you take out your test strips in between each thing. So, that's, wow. Sorry if you guys could hear me chugging that down, but it was refreshing. Mr. Gromby for the win. Let's go. Let's find out. Factor AE. Bum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum bum. What was half off? Where did you find it half off? It might have been a flash sale. But there are some okay deals. Save 14%. Lowest price in 30 days. You know, let's see here. Let me try to read your comments. Not on StreamYard. Yeah, Steven says, I use test strips for a quick check to verify the presence or absence of stuff like nitrates, ammonia, chlorine, etc. Yeah, me too. They kind of tell me all or nothing. That's kind of all I assume that they're going to tell me. Let's see here. Mr. Gromby says, I found them yesterday. Messaged Alex about the stream just because of the lights. Just made sure to buy mine first. Right on. Well, thanks for letting us know. The 70 gram container. Let's find out if they've got the 70 gram one on sale. Is there a I don't even see them listed by grams here. I see them by ounces. So let me try to convert that. So there's 28 grams in an ounce. So what's that? Like 2.5 ounces or something like that. So it would be a little container. Probably this one is what it was. 2.46 ounces. That's got to be it. But it doesn't look like it's on. I mean, it's still 14% off. Also, I've got a honey thing on here because now I need to keep track of it with Aquatic Arts because they use our code, which is our code. I don't want to give them credit for it because they hit up the company and say, "Hey, we're honey, and we saved your company a $1 billion." Alex didn't tell people about that code, and they siphon it off. So it's kind of a mixed blessing. Like that could work well if the company gave you all the credit for it, but what happens is they start applying it to everyone with honey. So then they lose track of who sent the code out. And like for Aquatic Arts, for instance, that's why we're going to have to be changing the code every like 4 months or so. But right now, as always, if you go on aquaticarts.com, you can get 15% off. And you can get up to 10% off over and over and over again forever. But let's see here. What else do we have? Good one, guys. Mr. Gromby just sent me a link. Let's see. Now, the trick. Can I get the link onto the computer from my cell phone that's not listed on the StreamYard? Let's see here. Let's try this. Let's try Glass Garden Shrimp. Because they might actually have other products that we can find that are on sale also. Oh, they have shrimp lollies. $10.99. It's about the same price as Aquatic Arts. I think they were $1 a piece. Glass Garden dinner pads, 11% off. I don't know what the shrimp dinner pads are. It just sounds gross. I don't want to eat pads for dinner. Ornamental diver with hose decor, only $9. What a score. We will look. Let's pull up battery. All right. Have a good one, Alan. Take it easy. Oh, 3 a.m. Dan, you stayed up late. Take it easy, bro. Get some sleep. Sleep with the fishes, please. Let's see here. Here's the 30-gram Glass Garden shrimp snacks. The snowflakes, which is the same thing Aquatic Arts is making now, too. I'm going to have to try out one of each because I'll be straight with you guys and say which product they like, my shrimp and fish like more. I mean, I don't have a problem. Aquatic Arts is coming out with new food, and I'm supposed to be giving them feedback anyhow. So I do want to actually pick up some of this other stuff and see how it compares. There's only, I mean, the other thing is like if your shrimp are ravenous about a certain food, like they're only going to get so much more ravenous. Like, what do you want them to do? Eat each other over the food? So, yeah. Regina says, I use the co-op test strips before water changes just to get a general idea of nitrates. Doesn't need to be perfect, but the info is good for managing multiple tanks. Yeah, the other thing that I do with API test strips is I cut them in half down the center. That's an old trick that a lot of fish keepers do. Just get a sharp scissors and cut slowly towards the crux of the scissors, and rather than the end of the scissors, and that way it doesn't snip and like tear the little piece that's on there. The shrimp dinner pads I actually really like. Good to know. It feeds super clean and my shrimp loved it. Well, good to know. Thanks, Oddball Aquatics. I appreciate it. How are you doing, by the way? So yeah, Tori, no worries. Yeah, just half down the center. Do that with your test strips if you're buying expensive ones. Do that with all of them. Screw it. Even if you have cheap ones. Okay, all right, let's look for pumps. Battery powered pump, aquarium pump, air pump, bump, 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 bump. Ooh, are there any of the linear air piston pumps? The Whisper one is like the one that I love. But look at this. We got Aqua Miracle. These are some weird brands I've never heard of, honestly. This looks super similar to some big name brands, honestly. I would be curious to go out on a limb on some of these. Like this one's usually 20, it's 16 here. This one's usually $30 and it's $20 right now for Kedsum. I don't know these brands, but I do know, actually Vivo Sun I do know. I have used their air pumps before and they're really good. I mean, they're really decent for a pump. They're a little loud. But all pumps that are that size are going to be a little loud. And then other one, Prime Day deal. Let's see. They're not that big of a savings. I've used these ones in years past. These are the ones that were my old standby because I bought them locally. But now there's so many different brands and options out there that it's like go whatever floats your boat. For knowing the kind of lower end of the market of like battery operated and stuff like that, or rechargeable, Aquatop is kind of usually at the lower end. So knowing that you can get that normally for $16, kind of informs where the rest of the market should be, in my opinion. So if there's any of these that catch someone's attention that are in the $15-ish range, then it might be worth checking out. And it looks like that's kind of right where a lot of these are. If you're looking at trying it, today might be a good day to try it rather than paying you say $6 or $4, depending on what they are. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I definitely like ONIP tablets the way they used to be, but they changed something in the ONIP. I'm curious though. Let's look up fish food and see if there's any big brands on sale right now. I used to always do the and by the way, this is what I always would get if I was getting test strips rather than API. I would buy these, the 200 for $7.99. And no, they're not real accurate. And yes, they do go bad, but they give you an idea. API they've just $20 for 20 strips is ridiculous. It just shows me that they don't care about the consumer in a way of making the hobby approachable for everyone. They just want to make as much money as possible. It's maximum profit, which that's fine. That's what any corporation does, I guess. But I like it when I see a corporation that actually makes the decision to, you know what, we're going to dial it back. You know what I mean? We're going to take it easy. It looks like they've got some koi foods on sale, a little, $5 off. If you've got a big old pond, looks like there's a few different Blue Ridge fish foods on sale. If you got a big old koi pond, let's see here. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything mind blowing in here. So let's take a look at. I'm curious about actual aquariums. Let's find out. I'm scared to know like how it would arrive unless it's one of the big box kits. Like a Fluval is probably gonna be fine. But I mean, the free shipping part of it kind of is interesting to me, you know, because these kits though, the problem with these kits is almost all of them, I would rip the light out. This one has like a matte and filter pocket kind of thing. So I'd actually like wouldn't have a problem with that. But the light, I would rip the lid off and then I put a new light over it and then I wouldn't have a lid. So I'd need to figure out what I'm going to do with the spaces in between the light. And basically with the kits that they're out there, the way you have to kind of like hot rod them out, I'd get a pre-filter, intake filter. If it wasn't matte and if it had a stem pipe, I'd get the intake sponge. And then I'd rip out all the guts of the filter. And, well, you know, that's actually not a bad idea right there. That's an interesting tank. But yet again, nothing crazy deal-wise. But, oh, here's a heater that I've never heard of, or Lushy. Let's take a look at heaters because they burn out quickly. That is interesting. Higer seems to have a lot of products, though, on sale, which this is kind of cool, which is a Higer aquarium alarm auto top off kit. So auto refill water and your drain, $59, usually $75. That's actually, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know though that I would trust like the one on sale for this important of a task. Higer's never steered me that wrong though, but or Lushy is surprisingly good. Steven says, I've had a bunch going on 2 years so far. Well, that's great to know. Thank you for the feedback. See, love you guys giving me feedback, and here we're all learning together. So, yeah, Alan, I agree. Heaters are the worst part of this hobby as far as like hardware goes. Talk about infuriating. And you know what? Let's see here. We'll look at chillers too and see if anything's on crazy sale. But again, not seeing brands other than Higer or Lushy. I don't see any. Vivo Sun seems to have quite a bit of stuff today on sale. Vivo Sun, I don't know what their story is as a brand. I think they're just another big kind of box. Not big box store, but like a big factory brand that gets repackaged. But they seem okay, you know. But here we go. I like this though. The Higer heaters with the outside display and the control. That is nice. Same with the Vivo one. Normally $60, 47 here. But the thing is, if a heater dies, your fish die. If it dies by overheating, if it dies by not turning on and it's cold, usually you can catch it. You'll notice it if you are an attentive fish keeper. You know, I bought some Higer heaters that were small that I really did like, and I'm trying to find them right now. Where are they? Let's take a look and see if they're on sale. Aquarium heater, Higer. Because they are these little guys here. Oh, of course. So, like, anywhere else? But these are surprisingly for a little cheapo one. I feel like I got them cheaper than $19.99. I think I got them at one point, whether it was Black Friday or something. I think I got them for $8.99 a piece is sticking in my head. But it's nice because there's no element where the fish can get hurt or stuck or slam against, really. And then also, if it's out of the water, it just says, and it cuts off. It's got like a breaker switch on it. And I'm sure that their other more expensive systems have those features too. But I just like that you control the temperature outside and that the LED reads the temperature in full lit up display. For breeding tanks and stuff like that, it would be awful for like an aquascape tank aesthetically. It's funny that I say that because that's the heater that's in my aquascape. Because the other nice thing about this little heater, it's a 100-watt heater, but it is actually really short. It's like wide, you know. A normal heater would be only a third as wide. So this heater here is like only 4 inches or 3.5 inches tall. So it's more of like a hockey puck shape than anything. So yeah. Let's see here. Oddball Aquatic says, ditch the air pumps and filters, plants for the win. You know, can I highlight that? Please tell me. Yes. There we go. Good. You showed up. I agree. Just grow some freaking plants. Watch anybody's filterless tank videos. I've got a couple, I'm sure. Oddball Aquatics, do you have any of those videos up too? Talking about them? Anyways, check out Oddball Aquatics regardless. Check out her channel. Let's see here. So, what else do we want to look for? Anybody have any requests? Because I think, you know, we're getting on late in the stream here. And we basically just turned into the home shopping network, which was kind of the premise behind this whole episode anyways. But we're coming up on that 2-hour mark. I can keep going, but I figure I don't want to keep going forever. 2 hours is a good, you know, stopping place usually. But I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. If there's not, though, what I do want to show you guys, I want to blow up a friend's YouTube channel or video because I think it's funny. And I don't care. Let's just watch this stream get demonetized. Watch it happen right now. All right, so we're going to go to YouTube. All right. Can you guys, this is what's going to be odd, though, was the audio on from the screen? Can I mute? Let's see. So can I use, where can I get this sound from? All right, let's see here. Hold on. Audio. Nope. Let's see what happens when I play music real quick. Can you guys hear it? Hold on. Can you guys hear it? Hold on. No, you can't. Okay, so let me mute this real quick. Sorry. So the whole thing I wanted to bring this up for was because I'm going to put him on the spot because I'm sure he's not watching, so it's fine. But Lawrence, who I went fish catching with the other day, who is a very professional, he's older than me, he's got a family, he's got a son apparently who's a musician in Seattle and has a catchy, cute song. It's got some swearing in it. It's got a YouTube video that's like 2.5 minutes long. But he showed me his son's video, and I just did not expect him to be up with like hip hop or not techno, but like electronic upbeat music kind of stuff. And his son is a good artist, and yeah. So let's link the video. Let me link the video because you guys can watch it on your own time. But I think it's cute, and he's only got 1,000 views on it. It's been up since June 4th. He's got 125 subscribers, but the song is actually really catchy. And I just think it'd be funny if like FishTube blew up his son's stream or his channel without like with no one knowing what happened. I just think that would be funny. All right, so there's the link in the chat if you guys want to go and watch it afterwards. I think it would be cute. You might like it. It's like pop music. It's kind of like let me try to think of who it's similar to. Like Simian Mobile Disco, or like bass it's just kind of poppy rock with a hip hop kind of lyrical progression of things. But his name is, let's go back. I wanted to give him some love, even though this has nothing to do with anything. But why not spread the music on something where I wouldn't have gotten copyright struck? I don't know why the audio is not coming over. My sound card is not playing it over into StreamYard, and maybe that's like you have to pay for StreamYard. I'm not sure, or a setting that I'm not finding. I've gone into audio, general settings. Oh, yep. Recording separate audio tracks and or using live separate tracks. Okay, yeah, so I would have to be paying it. But okay, so there's the link in the chat though, the YouTube one. If you want to watch a cute poppy little video and support an 18-year-old kid's musical project, there you go. But for me, I think that means that I'm going to wrap this stream up unless we've got any questions that you are dying to know the answer to. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm here for you right now. Otherwise, I'll sign off. Alan, StreamYard fun. I know I need to get, I don't know if I'd get StreamYard. I might get, there's other ones out there too. Monica says, watched it, told them who sent me. Watched, liked, and told them who sent me. Yeah, isn't that kind of a cute little video? I don't know. Like, he's a musician in Seattle, hard city to become a musician in, and it's catchy. I thought it was funny. But Lawrence was very like, oh yeah, my son's in a band. Well, actually, he's a rapper, I guess. Like Macklemore's a rapper, like a white rapper, like one who lives with his parents and he's going to college, But it's really good. And he edited his own video. So we're out in the woods catching fish, and I'm watching it. And he was just proud of his son. There's creative, and I thought that was really heartwarming. But at the same time, I figured I got a platform. Let's send a couple people over his way, even if it's just a few to watch. So in any case, if you feel like watching a little independent music video made in Seattle, that's literally in my neighborhood. So all those shots. So yeah. All right, guys. Oh, Casa smart plugs are on sale. Interesting. That's the last one. I'm not pulling it back up. That was it. If anybody has anything to say, though, if they need help with anything, you can always leave me stuff in the comments. I answer the comments all hours of the day and night. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to go out to Jason up at Redfish Bluefish, take the 3-hour round trip tour up to Woodby Island, see Redfish Bluefish, and we're hopefully going to be working on aquascaping a tank for sure in an Iwagumi. Just hiccup, burped, and I don't know what I had going on there, but had a Iwagumi. We're doing a very traditional one plant dwarf baby tears Iwagumi up at Redfish Bluefish, and then we were kind of talking about the possibility of doing like a Brazilian jungle tank with wood and all that kind of stuff. Right on, Oddball Aqua. I went out walking in the woods from inspiration on Sunday and ended up with 2 baby robins because live your best life. Right on. Don't touch them or their mother will eat their faces. I hear that is a rumor. That's not true. But if you pester them in front of their parents will associate the nest with danger. That's why you don't want to go digging in a bird nest, but you can put the birds back up in a nest if they fall down. All right. And Mr. Gromby says, when are you going to Florida? Well, I have so many of y'all that I want to see in Florida, like in Central Florida, in the Orlando to Tampa area. I got a lot of friends in Miami too, but man, I got a lot of people I'd need to see in Florida. So we should do a meetup. I'm hoping to get there in October when it cools down, because I don't do well in the heat with my lupus. But I'm also planning on going to Indianapolis to go to Aquatic Arts when they open their retail store in the fall, hopefully. And I'm hoping to go to Chicago also. I don't know how to line up. They might line up where I can do one week and then a road trip to the other one within reason. So we'll see. I'd like to get out there. Also want to go visit Lucas and see his crazy project of a microclimate, pond, lake, stream, whatever. I do not have a dark water, black water tank right now, currently, Ray, but I used to, and it's funny you ask. Aquatic Arts is putting out a tannin line. They've got all sorts of tannin, not enriched, but tannin products with tannins in them, lotus pods and catappa leaves and guava leaves, things like that, alder cones. And so I plan on, I hit them up. I talked to them and I was like, well, let's do a water tank and feature some of the stuff you can do with that. Limits your plant selection a little bit. So you need to lean hard on hardscape and wood and, rocks and the tannin, the botanicals. But they ordered in, I think, a dozen or more different types of botanicals. Like the lotus pods look really cool. And so you can do some cool stuff with leaf litter. You don't want to make it so dark that you can't see anything in your tank / so acidic that you can only keep like the most acidic hardy species. Yeah. So let's see here. You gonna see my fish room when you're in Indy? Just want to see Lucas. I would love to see your fish room. I didn't know if I was invited. I should have messaged you personally and seen Haley. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, we should talk. I agree. Hit you up about going to Ohio. Okay, cool. I would love to come to the Midwest again. I mean, my wife's family's all in Ohio. Not all. Some of them are in Florida. And my family is in Texas and Louisiana and Seattle. So those are kind of the places that I hop around from. I guess I got family in LA too, in San Diego. But yeah, those are the main places that I hop around from. So now that things are back in order, that life will find a way, and it has. Yeah, let's do that. I'll reach out to you, or you reach out to me if I forget, because I'm the idiot who fell asleep when he was supposed to be streaming. Fell asleep there. I've got a weighted blanket. This is where I sleep at night. I'm not kidding. My back's been so bad. I've been sleeping on the hardwood floor, and I've just been sleeping with research materials, books, and taking notes and listening to music, or putting on videos from the Orinoco and bird noises in the background while I'm working on a couple different research subjects for the channel right now. I got like 5 or 6 ideas that are kind of floating around in my head, and it's like, do I combine them and make them like surface topics that weave into each other in like a video that's kind of like a narrative again, or do I separate them into their own stories? I don't know. Yeah, good luck with the baby birds, with the robins for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna roll out of here. I'm gonna literally roll. So bye. No, I didn't do that. That would kill me. I'm not nearly that flexible. But thanks for hanging out tonight. I had a fun one. Yeah, check the fish box. Can't believe we are still going, but glad went out for errands and came back. Yeah. Well, have a good night, everybody. Seriously, thank you for sticking around. Sorry about my rambling at the beginning, starting late. Sorry. Just, Sorry that your wife's mad at you, that your husband's mad at you, that your boyfriend's and girlfriend, dog, parakeet, budgie, whatever. Just blame it on me. Sorry. It's Alex's fault. We'll do that. I give you a free pass for the night. You guys just say, it's okay. Alex said it. It's his fault, not mine. All right, you guys have a good one. And I hope everybody's doing well, taking care of their critters. Hope you're working on your aquascapes. We got like 100 people almost in the competition, which will be fun. Plus a couple little guest appearances. George Farmer may be partying down a little bit with us. I mean, he's got so many scapes he could just submit, but I talked to him about it. He's like, oh, I think that's cool. And Lucas has been threatening to enter, but he didn't enter on time actually. So I don't think he's technically up against any of y'all. All right. Wait, is this live? Mr. Grumpy? Yes, we're still live. All right, guys, I'm off. Have a good night. And I told you to take care of your fish and your plants, but take care of you too. Because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of your fish and your plants. And that's what really matters. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.